There are moments when silence speaks louder than any scream. Have you ever felt that weight, that feeling of emptiness that seems to suck away every last fragment of hope that remained within you? It is in that instant, when everything that seemed safe crumbles, that someone's true essence is revealed. The son of darkness finds himself exactly at that point, surrounded by shadows, marked by betrayal and the loss of everything he loved. Every memory that once brought comfort is now just an open wound, a cruel reminder that nothing he knew can be recovered. Stay with me until the end, because what you are about to discover may change the way you perceive pain, revenge, and even the strength that is born from emptiness. Betrayal often comes unannounced. It infiltrates silently, corrodes trust, and when you realize it, there's no turning back. This is how the Son of Darkness feels each blow, a chill that pierces the soul, a silence that screams louder than any physical attack. Imagine yourself in his place, watching your world crumble, with nowhere to run, no one to trust. This is the origin of a dangerous, intense transformation that not only shapes his character, but also redefines his purpose. Every decision he makes now carries the weight of the past and the shadow of what can never be forgotten. And it's not just about suffering, it's about what happens when pain finds someone determined not to succumb. The Son of Darkness is not just a victim, he becomes an observer, a student of his own fear, his own anger, and the silence that surrounds every choice. Every step is calculated, every movement carries intention, because when all is lost, life demands adaptation and perhaps even transformation. Have you ever experienced moments when the pain seemed unbearable, and yet some spark within you refused to be extinguished? It is precisely this tension between destruction and survival that defines his journey. But there is something even deeper: loneliness. Not the comfortable solitude we sometimes seek for reflection, but the loneliness that forces you to confront who you truly are. When no one is watching, when the whole world disintegrates around you, what remains inside you? This is the question the Son of Darkness faces at every moment. And it is in this space where silence and darkness meet that he begins to discover abilities he never imagined he possessed, thoughts that were previously repressed, and a strength that, in a way, is born from tragedy itself. What you are about to see is not just a story of pain, but the awakening of something deeper, something that can inspire, frighten, or even challenge your own perception of justice and revenge. Every detail of the silence after the pain reveals not only the weight of the loss, but the spark that arises when someone decides not to be broken. And it is precisely this spark that defines what is to come, leaving in the air that unsettling feeling that, even in the end, nothing is exactly as it seemed. And so, shrouded in shadows and memories, the Son of Darkness prepares to take his next steps you will witness firsthand. The darkness surrounding him is not merely the absence of light, it is a test, a reflection, a transformation. And as he faces the abyss that has formed in his life, the question remains: what will one do when nothing remains but silence? The next moment in this journey is about to reveal answers no one could have expected. As he moves through this labyrinth of shadows, each step seems to echo in the surrounding silence, carrying memories that no one else could understand. And it is in this moment that we realize something essential. Pain, however intense, does not need to be faced alone. The experience of the Son of Darkness reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is room for connection, even if only through the stories we share. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below about what touched you most, the feeling you recognized in yourself, or the memory that somehow resonated with what is being told. Did you enjoy the video so far? Then don't forget to show it with a like. Every like helps keep this type of content alive. allows more people who need to hear these stories to find it and strengthens the message we are building together. And if you feel you want to closely follow each chapter of this journey, subscribe to the channel. Your presence here is what makes this community grow and allows us to continue exploring intense and transformative themes, stories that provoke, inspire, and make you reflect. Knowing that someone, somewhere, connects with what is being shared creates an invisible network of empathy. Your participation, whether commenting, liking, or subscribing, is not just a digital gesture. It's a way to unite with those who seek to understand the depth of pain, loss, and transformation that arises from silence. And while you reflect on this, feeling each word and each emotion, the Son of Darkness continues his journey, with each step carrying more intensity, more purpose, leaving in the air the promise that what comes next will be even more revealing. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The Son of Darkness's heart is in ruins, and each shattered piece seems to echo within him with unanswered questions. Why was the world so cruel? Why were those he trusted, those who promised protection and love, the first to hurt him? Each memory becomes an almost unbearable weight, a burden that presses down on his mind and defies any attempt at understanding. He finds himself questioning everything, from his own decisions to the very essence of what he believed in. The pain consumes not only his body, but his very perception of reality, revealing a hidden truth that few dare to face. Life doesn't always follow the logic we expect, and injustice can be silent and brutal. It is at this point of extreme vulnerability that reflection on transformation arises. Grief, denial, the feeling of powerlessness. All of this mixes together, creating a mindset that paradoxically opens space for awakening. He realizes that the intensity of pain can also be a catalyst for profound change, that each decision made in this moment of fragility will impact not only his future, but also how he faces each relationship, each trust, each battle yet to come. His journey ceases to be merely about surviving loss. It begins to become an intimate study of the inner workings of his own mind, the emotions he tries to control, the revelations that emerge from the darkness and that no one else can witness. The Son of Darkness finds himself on the threshold between what once was and what may yet be, navigating between painful memories and the realization that everything burning within him has an invisible, silent purpose that he cannot yet fully decipher. Each moment of suffering seems to carry a veiled lesson, a seed of strength that only pain can plant. And it is precisely in this phase, in this space between denial and acceptance, that the character's rawest and truest humanity is revealed, that part that we all recognize when confronting our own inner abysses. Comment below, "I'm on this journey too," and share the word that best represents how you connect with this moment. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Darkness begins to insinuate itself around the Son of Darkness, but not as something hostile, rather as an almost seductive presence, whispering truths he always suspected but never dared to admit. They destroyed what you loved, and they still dare to call it justice. These words echo in his mind, resounding louder than any memory of lost happiness. It is a silent call, an invitation that awakens a dangerous fascination with forbidden power, a force that promises not only revenge, but control, understanding, and answers that no one else could offer. He feels the impact of this presence. Every previous decision seems small, every choice limited in the face of what now presents itself. As the mind adjusts to the weight of loss, the transformation begins subtly, almost imperceptibly. He realizes that this darkness is not just destruction, it is a mirror, reflecting every wound, every betrayal, every repressed desire that still throbs silently. The journey that seemed only one of pain and grief also becomes a profound study of his own mentality, of the inner workings of his thoughts, of the revelations, and that emerge when no one is watching, when every emotion is amplified by silence and emptiness. It is a moment when rationality mixes with emotion, where decisions made under emotional impact can redefine someone's character and purpose forever. The allure of darkness reveals a hidden truth. Power and vengeance don't arise from nothing. They are born from the perception of injustice and the impact that injustice causes. He feels the energy building, a force that promises not only answers, but the feeling that he can finally master what destroyed him. And although this presence is tempting, there is also the awareness that each step in this direction brings inevitable consequences, decisions that will indelibly mark his journey. The balance between the seduction of revenge and the reflection on who he truly wants to become creates an intense tension, an invisible thread between pain and transformation, between what was lost and what can still emerge. Comment below, "I feel this darkness too," and share the word that best represents the strength you recognize at this point in your journey. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The rage of the son of darkness ceases to be merely an instinctive and silent reaction and begins to transform into something greater, almost palpable, a purpose that consumes every thought, every decision, every fragment of his attention. The pain that once broke him now becomes fuel, a raw energy that feeds every step he takes, shaping his mindset and revealing a hidden truth about himself and the world around him. He begins to see beyond appearances, perceiving the falsehoods that were previously invisible, and every shadow that crosses his path seems to carry an opportunity to transform this energy into action. The journey that begins is not just about revenge, but about understanding the impact each choice has, both on himself and on those around him. Every decision made at this moment carries weight, because he now understands that power is not born from emptiness, but from the intensity of what shapes us. The light that once deceived him, promising protection and truth, now becomes the impulse to destroy everything that represents falsehood, hypocrisy, and betrayal. It is a silent, strategic movement, studied behind the scenes of his own mind, where every step is thought out, every reaction is measured, and every emotion is transformed into strength. He realizes that transformation is not instantaneous. It requires patience, observation, and courage to face his own vulnerability. The seed of revenge, planted in the fertile soil of loss and despair, begins to grow, taking root in his essence and altering how he relates to the world. There is an almost magnetic fascination in this process, because each inner revelation brings him closer to a more intense, more strategic, and more powerful version of himself. What was once suffering now becomes a map, guiding his steps, illuminating the invisible paths of justice that he himself will define. Comment below, "This strength inspires me," and share the word that best represents how you connect with this inner transformation. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The son of darkness, driven by pain and the purpose born of vengeance, feels the need to seek something beyond what any ordinary experience could offer. He knows that to transform his rage into power, he must cross boundaries that most would never dare to touch. It is at this point that he encounters the forbidden, an ancient artifact, a silent entity, or a secret buried in the shadows of history, something that carries the essence of darkness and promises knowledge, strength, and answers that the world has never delivered. Every detail of this encounter pulsates with intensity, revealing the behind the scenes of a journey that is not only physical, but profoundly mental and emotional. The impact of this discovery is immediate. He realizes that the decision to interact with what many fear requires courage, and that the price to pay is not only material, but moral, emotional, and even spiritual. Even so, he accepts. There is no hesitation, only the clear awareness that turning back is no longer possible. Each step taken at that moment alters his perception of the world, his understanding of hidden truth, and the way he faces each person, each situation, each risk that he might have previously ignored. The transformation he experiences is not instantaneous. It seeps in slowly, shaping his mindset, challenging old convictions, and preparing him for future decisions that will have an irreversible impact. It is at this point in the story that the tension between desire and consequence becomes tangible. The forbidden offers not only power, it offers revelations, opportunities, and a dangerous fascination capable of testing the essence of who he is and who he intends to become. Each moment in the face of this force awakens not only ambition, but also profound reflection, showing that darkness can be both a guide and a test, and that each choice leaves indelible marks on the journey. He feels, almost magnetically, that this decision will be the starting point for transformations that no one else could anticipate, a silent connection between the loss he suffered and the power that is now within his reach. Comment below, "I feel that strength too," and share the word that best represents how you connect with this moment of decision. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The power he has acquired begins to flow within the Son of Darkness, like an intense current coursing through every fiber of his body, awakening sensations he has never experienced. There is fear, but there is also ecstasy, an intoxicating mixture that defies his own perception of limits and possibilities. His mind burns, his thoughts collide, and each painful memory seems to condense into pure strength, transforming his former fragility into something almost unbreakable. It is at this moment that something awakens, a version of himself that existed only in potential, an identity shaped by pain, anger, and the pursuit of justice he believes he deserves. The transformation is physical, emotional, and mental. Every movement, every breath carries impact and reveals the behind-the-scenes of a journey that is not only external, but profoundly internal. He feels that the logic of the world has changed, that decisions that once seemed complex now possess absolute clarity. But with this clarity comes the tension that each action will have irreversible consequences. It is the silent rebirth of someone who was broken but now rises with power, vision, and a new mindset, aware of the impact each choice can generate. He still believes he is doing what is right, that his actions carry justice, even as the world around him becomes increasingly dark and uncertain. Ecstasy and fear coexist, creating a delicious and dangerous tension, a feeling that he has touched something forbidden and, at the same time, necessary. Every fiber of his body pulsates with this energy, and each thought reveals hidden truths about himself, about others, and about how the world actually works. It is the point where the line between hero and villain becomes blurred, and where power awakens not only new abilities, but a strategic, almost surgical understanding of how he can act to shape his destiny. The feeling is overwhelming but also laden with revelations that change everything. Comment below, "I feel that strength too," and share the word that best represents this intense transformation that is beginning to happen. Now I want to delve even deeper into this matter. With his newfound power pulsing within him, the Son of Darkness feels there is no more room for hesitation. Every thought, every emotion, and every painful memory converge on a single truth. It is time to act. It is not yet an open war, but every step he takes is measured, calculated, laden with precise intentions, and each movement carries the impact of a transformation that can no longer be reversed. He chooses his first target, someone who is not just an adversary, but the personification of all the falsehood that destroyed his life, someone who symbolizes the lie that once promised protection and ended up wounding him deeply. The decision is fraught with tension and revelations. He feels the weight of what he is about to do, but also the clarity that each action is now part of an inevitable journey where each choice defines not only the present, but the very essence of who he is becoming. It is at this moment that the character's mindset changes irreversibly. Fear still exists, but it is mixed with the ecstasy of newfound control. The feeling that he can now shape his destiny, even if it means crossing boundaries that previously seemed impossible. The line between right and wrong becomes blurred, and each decision reveals the hidden truths of his own strength and the limits of what the world has allowed him to be. In the depths of his mind, the strategy unfolds with almost surgical precision. Every move is carefully considered to maximize impact. Every emotion is used as fuel. Every memory of betrayal becomes motivation. The first concrete action of revenge is not just a step, it is the tipping point, the moment when return is no longer an option, and the internal transformation begins to manifest externally, influencing every subsequent decision. It is the embodiment of everything he has absorbed so far: pain, anger, power, and the awareness that every choice will have profound and inevitable consequences. Comment below, "I'm feeling this strength," and share the word that best represents how you perceive this turning point in his journey. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The act happens almost automatically, quickly, brutally, and inevitably. Every movement of the Son of Darkness is charged with precision, a result of the transformation his pain and power have provoked, but also of the silent calculation that rage triggers when it encounters a target that symbolizes all the falsehood that destroyed it. The confrontation is not only physical, it is mental, emotional, and existential. He feels the impact of each decision, each consequence, and perceives in the depths of his own mind that the line between action and intention has become tenuous, almost indistinguishable. The power he has acquired pulsates in every fiber of his being, but surprisingly, it is not he who most dominates the scene. It is the emotions, the hidden feelings, and the perception of a profound truth. Nothing will be the same again. When it all ends, the expectation of relief, satisfaction, or justice is quickly replaced by something far more unsettling. There is no triumph, no euphoria, only a different kind of emptiness, more intense and profound than any pain he has ever known. This emptiness reveals a truth that no one usually admits. Revenge does not heal wounds, does not restore what was lost, and does not return what was stolen. It transforms. Each act, each decision made on this dark path, alters not only the world around him, but the very core of his identity, his mentality, and the way he perceives every relationship, every opportunity, and every threat. It is a silent transformation, invisible to outsiders, but irreversible for those who experience it. He realizes, in a disturbing and almost hypnotic way, that every emotion consumed, every memory of pain absorbed, and every impulse for revenge realized merges into something greater, a new perception of himself, of his own strength, and of the impact he can have on the world. It's a dark rebirth, where the villain begins to emerge precisely where the hero he once was shattered. Every decision he makes now carries a strategic weight, a calculation of impact, and a silent awareness that the line between right and wrong no longer exists in the same way. The inner workings of his mind teem with possibilities, revelations, and future decisions that will have unexpected effects, a complex web of cause and effect that he is still learning to understand. As he stares into this void, he feels something deeper stirring within him, an energy that blends power and reflection, pain and understanding, impulse and strategy. Every detail of this experience shapes not only his next actions but also his entire journey, revealing that the transformation brought about by revenge is, in fact, a silent preparation for what is yet to come. Greater decisions, more intense challenges, and choices that will test how far he is willing to go. It is in this space between action and consequence, between power and emptiness, that he begins to understand the complexity of his own being and how each act shapes not only the world, but his own soul. Comment below, "This makes sense to me," and share the word that best represents how you perceive this intense and silent transformation that revenge provokes. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The Son of Darkness observes himself for the first time with eyes that no longer belong to the one who once believed in promises, in light, and in protection. Every scar, every painful memory, every decision made so far is reflected in his gaze, revealing not fragility, but conviction. There is no more innocence, nor naive hope. There is only the silent clarity of one who has understood that life does not offer justice, and that true transformation is born from accepting everything that has destroyed and shaped us. He realizes that the power he has acquired is not an end in itself, but an extension of his own pain, his own journey, an energy that only manifests because he allowed darkness to become part of his being. His mindset has irreversibly changed. Every decision, every step, now carries the impact of the hidden truth he has learned to recognize, that the world is not made for those who expect justice, but for those who understand the inner workings of power and survival. The acceptance of his own darkness is, paradoxically, liberating. He realizes there is no going back to naivete, no return to what he was before. All that remains is the impact of transformation, a silent force that shapes his journey, his strategies, and his future choices. Every emotion, even the darkest, is now a tool, a catalyst for decisions that will reveal his new identity to the world. The allure of darkness ceases to be merely an attraction to the forbidden and becomes an understanding that what destroyed him is also what strengthened him. He feels the weight of responsibility for every act yet to come, but at the same time feels the clarity that there is no longer a division between right and wrong. There is only what needs to be done to move forward, and the awareness that each step forward will definitively shape his destiny. The transformation is not merely external, it is profound, strategic, and intense, affecting how he perceives alliances, enemies, and opportunities. In the depths of his mind, each revelation about himself connects to future decisions, to impacts that cannot yet be fully measured, and to an unprecedented understanding of his own strength. He feels ready to face whatever comes, not because he has lost his fear, but because he has learned to live with it, to transform it into drive and clarity. It is the total acceptance of darkness as part of his own being, the point at which the villain is born with full awareness, carrying not only power, but perception, strategy, and absolute conviction. Comment below, "I'm on this journey too," and share the word that best defines this intense acceptance of inner transformation. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. The Son of Darkness stands still, feeling the weight of each choice that has brought him to this point. He understands that each scar, each memory of betrayal, each moment of pain was not merely suffering, but rather the fertile ground where his true strength began to sprout. Looking at himself, he realizes that the innocence that once existed is gone, replaced by conviction and clarity, a silent awareness that nothing can erase or contain him. Each decision made so far connects to the next, and the impact of his actions extends beyond what he could imagine, shaping not only his destiny, but the perception of everyone around him. The oath he makes, "They took everything from me, but they forgot one thing. What is born of pain never dies in the light," is not just words, but a manifestation of complete transformation. He seeks neither redemption nor anyone's approval. He chooses to be the inevitable force that redefines rules, confronts hidden truths, and transforms his own pain into drive, clarity, and strategy. Every impulse he feels, every shadow he traverses, every future decision now carries the silent weight of this profound transformation, showing that True power is born from accepting and being impacted by one's own darkness. The feeling is intense, almost tangible, and reveals that his journey is far from over. Each step forward will be shaped by this new mindset, by these revelations emerging from behind the scenes of his own mind, and by the inevitable consequences of each action. Comment below, "I'm on this journey too," and share the word that best represents this strength that is born from pain. If you've made it this far, thank you for truly immersing yourself in this story and experiencing every moment of this intense transformation. You know, it's this kind of connection that makes everything we share here so special, and that's why your presence makes all the difference. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment below. I'm with you until the end. I want to see who truly connects with this journey and shares this reflection. And if you felt something powerful while watching every detail, a like on the video helps. Reinforce that energy, keep the conversation alive, and reach other people who can also identify with the intensity of the story. Your participation is more than just a click. It's a way to show that stories like this matter and that it makes sense to continue exploring these ideas together. There's a video here that complements this topic with even more behind-the-scenes details, decisions, and revelations about the journey of the Son of Darkness. Click and stay with me there, because the story isn't over yet, and what comes next will delve even deeper into everything you've just experienced. Following each step, each choice, and each transformation will show you layers he never even imagined existed, and I want you to be there to experience it all with me.